Hello, my friends. Hello, my friends. Hello, my friends. Hello, my friends. How are you all doing? Happy Sunday. Happy Lord's Day. Happy day. Kalu Kalay. He chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. Random Moose Brains, thank you for your sub. First sub of the night. Thank you so much, Random Moose Brains. Hello, The Closer. Hello, Lillerbex. Hello, Blade. Hello, Morpheus Prime. Hello. Okay, everyone. We have to start as we always start, which is by asking about my audio levels. My audio levels, is it okay if is it pretty much the same right here as if I do pretty much the same right here? Is it pretty much the same right here if I do pretty much the same right here? Is it pretty much the same right here if I do pretty much the same right here? Yeah. Good. Score. That's a great way to start. So, my friends, I have had, it's been a while since I streamed, I guess, like what, 3 weeks? Something like that, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 2 3/4 weeks. I don't know. I'm not keeping track of the days because life is a little bit crazy right now. Brillig and the Slithy Toads would make a good band name. It would make a good band name. Brillig and the Slithy Toads. And you know that they're gyring and gimbling in the wave. Hello, Nathan Abras. I'm so happy to be alive, Hulkzilla. Thank you. Okay, where to even begin? I have been I've been reading a lot about the Medicis, which is how so many of my conversations have been beginning these past couple weeks, because I've been so hyper-focused. Hulkzilla, thank you so much for your $50 tip. What the heck? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Anyway, my brain constantly redirecting to the Renaissance, to the Medici family, to Florence, to church history right now. Like, I'm so obsessed. I'm so obsessed. And Mello, thank you so much for your prime. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Fun fact, Medici also means doctors in Italian. Ooh, very fun. Did not know that. So I have to talk about something, okay? The last time I did a Medici stream, I was focused on talking about pronouncing a lot of these Italian words. For example, Brunelleschi. Let me see some other names that y'all help me pronounce. Bracciolini. I learned how to pronounce so many good Italian names that I had been saying wrong in my head. And I really appreciated that. Oh gosh, I can't remember how to pronounce. In my head, I've been saying Ficino for the hermit. The hunchback, sorry, not the hermit, the hunchback. Who was like an expert on Plato. Is that correct? Ficino. 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 So yeah, I've been learning how to pronounce all these words. Very, very grateful. And the Italians of chat, of the internet, y'all all taught me that the family name, which I've been saying so often, and which most Americans and English-speaking people, we say the Medici family, the Medici. But Italians, last stream, y'all taught me that you say it Medici. rather than Medici. Medici. And y'all got me in the habit of saying Medici. 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 Hello, Livia. Welcome in. Welcome in. And Jose, thank you so much for your sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But now I'm getting told by every American and even Canadian who I've been having conversations with lately that they don't know who the heck I'm talking about when I say Medici. I have to say Medici in order for anyone to know what I'm talking about. So I feel conflicted. I feel conflicted. I'm in like a tortilla situation, you know what I mean? I'm in a tortilla situation where I want to kind of be normal and say tortilla when I'm like talking to my friends. You know what I mean? I kind of want to be normal and I kind of want to say tortilla rather than like tortilla. I'm in a tortilla situation with the name of this family. So, I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. So I'm probably going to be like switching a little bit between Medici, because people know who I'm talking about when I say Medici, and Medici, to appease the Italians, to feel a little bit more correct. I don't know. Seems like that. I don't know. Code switching. Exactly, Shay Bobe. Exactly. I'm code switching. But the thing is that when you're on the internet, you're talking to a million different groups at once. So like what code do you use? What code do you use? Because you are everyone. You are everyone. You are everyone. You are not just my family. You're not just the bros at work. You are not just my college professors. You're all of that. All my college professors are in the chat right now. And also all of my coworkers and all of my bosses and all of my family. And also strangers. It's very concerning. Very concerning. And see, oh. Hello, Cat. And Z's Library. Thank you. Thank you very much for your sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Buongiorno, more Medici lore. Let's go. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. For internet audience and for academic reasons, maybe go by how the Italians pronounce it. I know, you're probably right. I think you're probably right. Medici. 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 So, last time that we were talking about the Medicis. Oh wait, before I get into that, I have to build up the suspense, okay? Someone sent me these little eggs to my P.O. box. They're like wooden eggs. And they make some pretty good sounds. But really the best sound is this one. I think this is the best sound that they can make. I think this is the best sound. Nice guy, thank you so much for your prime. Thank you so much for your prime, nice guy. Thank you. Okay, so last time we were talking about all of the artists that Cosimo. Oh, we have a visitor. We were talking about all of the artists that Cosimo Medici sponsored. And I'm going to be a little bit farther away from the mics now, because Kat, she is cute. She is the cutest, it's true. She doesn't really have a good way to sit on me right now. I'm gonna try and sorry if this is loud, y'all. I'm gonna kind of move back a little bit. Okay, there we go. You're gonna have to chill out. have to find a comfy way to sit. Last time we were talking about all of the artists that Cosimo Medici. She keeps pushing the mic away from me. Cosimo Medici sponsored. How he jump-started the Renaissance. We talked about the council. I'm so sorry. You can't be doing that, girl. You can't be doing that. We talked about the Council of Florence and how the Council of Florence brought so much Greek influence into Florence, into Italy. And that was another spark of the Renaissance. Is this really loud? Is it whenever she like rams her head into the... Is that like really, really loud? That surely did not sound good. This is what it's like whenever a cat shoves their face into your face, kind of. And I don't think we talked too much last time about Lorenzo the Magnificent, who is perhaps one of the more interesting Medicis. Lorenzo the Magnificent. But we're also not going to talk about them today. Thank you for your bits, Wesley. Thank you. We're also not going to talk about Lorenzo today. We might save Lorenzo for next time. I think Cosimo Medici, sometimes called the father of the nation in Italy. I think Cosimo is still so far my favorite when it comes to just aura, vibes. Good person. Really just Kyle. Thank you. Thank you so much for gifting 5 subs. Thank you. Arshk, shk, eek, ask, alshk, alshk, wysk, j, yusk, hast, click, k, click, wysk, al, ishk. Thank you. Okay. I think Cosimo's like my favorite. He seems kind of like the best person. But Lorenzo also is up there, okay? Lorenzo has aura. Lorenzo did good. Did really, really good by the Medici family. And did really, really good by all of Florence. Lorenzo continued a lot of Cosimo's work. My sweet, can you stop moving my microphones away from my face? I use them for my job. She is such a baby. She's such a baby. Brumpo Dunkus. It's crazy, like, she knows when I'm streaming, y'all. She doesn't always do this. She knows that I'm streaming. She knows the camera's on, and that I'm talking to chat, and she's getting jealous, and that's just how it goes. Yeah? You done? No, she's not done. What do you even want? You can sit in a different way. You're being oddly vertical right now. Do you want to face the camera? No, she doesn't. She just wants to face this way. Lorenzo lived a more... done? Are you done? Or are you just you're just shifting positions, okay? She really just doesn't like this microphone. She doesn't like either of the microphones. Okay. I'm really sorry about this. I'm trying to be serious and talk about Italian history. Okay. Can you calm down? Are you calm? Here, how about you sit the other way on my lap? Oh, just gonna get her claws in my shirt. Here. Now she's... Let me show y'all. I can't reach my camera. Never mind, I can't show y'all. Maybe I can. There we go. Cat cam. She's way more interesting than I will ever be, so let's just have no face for a while. And we'll pet the cat, okay? We'll pet the cat. So, Andes, thank you so much for your prime. Thank you so much for your prime. Thank you. Lorenzo Medici lived a much more extravagant life. Ooh, look, we just like snatched her face. She's mewing. She's mewing. And we can unmew her too. He wore a lot of expensive jewels. He had a very, very fancy set of armor. And he would, throw lots of grand festivals. Throw lots of grand festivals. But then towards the end of his life, he kind of realized that the Medici family was in kind of dire financial straits. And a lot of that is because the Medicis gave so much money to the city of Florence and her artists and the church. They would pay for wars to end. They would pay for influence. They really were the kind of unofficial royal family of Florence. Meanwhile, new character for you all. There's this priest rising in power and influence in Florence, and his name is Savonarola. He's a Dominican priest, and I picture him like that guy in Skyrim. Y'all know who I'm talking about? That guy in Whiterun in Skyrim. That guy. He's like that. He's like that at first. He's prophesying on the streets. He's having visions. And he's kind of going a little bit crazy all the time. They paid for wars to begin too. It's true. They did all kinds of things. But yeah, Savonarola, Dominican priest, preaching in the streets, and he's saying that Florence is corrupt, that most of Italy is corrupt, the church is corrupt, Mother Rome is corrupt. Savonarola is saying that everyone needs to repent. And he starts prophesying the deaths of all of these leaders throughout Europe. Leaders in Russia, leaders in France, leaders in Spain. And he's kind of intimidating everyone. Everyone's like, whoa, this guy's getting visions. This guy's preaching in the streets. That's crazy. This is all a little bit crazy. Saw a Canadian flag in one of your group videos. Hello from Canada. Hello, Dan. Yes, I just came back. From Canada. Wonderful country you have. I hope to go again as soon as possible. I love it there. I love Canada. God bless Canada. Anyway, the thing that makes Savonarola different from that guy in Skyrim, from that guy in Whiterun in Skyrim, yelling to the empty streets, is that Savonarola's got aura, and he starts converting people, and he draws in crowds of hundreds and then thousands, and everyone slowly starts to be as entranced by him, at least as entranced by him as they are kind of scared of all the crazy apocalyptic stuff he's saying. And that's Savonarola. Sinjobe, thank you so much for your sub. My cat is very pleased with your sub, specifically, Sinjobe. Very, very, very pleased. So, Savonarola is preaching specifically against the Medicis sometimes at this time. And he's saying that the Medicis have too much money and that they're too extravagant, too decadent, that they should not be the kings of the, the kind of fake kings. I'm about to crack my wrist. 3, 2, 1. Yum. They shouldn't be the kings of Florence because it's not fair, and Florence should be more democratic. Savonarola is specifically loved by the Populo Minuto, called thusly because they are tiny. They are the tiny people in a non-metaphorical sense. That's why they're called this in late 1400s, early 1500s Italy. This is the population of people who have faced hunger for their entire lives. So it's the poor, but specifically it's the impoverished who are physically smaller than the aristocrats, the aristocracy. And they're called the Populo Minuto. Because they are small people. The small folk. So Savonarola is specifically loved by these people. Oh my god, I love my cat. Why do you just let me do that, girl? Why do you just let me do that? Anyway. The reason that I'm doing that is because this is my knee right here, and she keeps putting her little claws into it, and it kind of hurts. So I'm just gonna hold her little paws like this. Savonarola is loved by the Populo Minuto. And he's loved by some of the wealthier people as well. But there's definitely a divide between him and the Medicis. So, Lorenzo de' Medici, Lorenzo the Magnificent, as he's called, he is on his deathbed. He's old, he's tired, and he knows that the end is near. And he wants to do one last political move for the strength of the Medici family. And that move is to call Savonarola to his deathbed for his last confession, to try and heal this divide, heal this divide, heal this divide. Tyler 85, thank you so much for your sub. Thank you so much for your sub, Tyler 85, 85. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, let me refer to my notes. On Lorenzo the Magnificent's deathbed, he calls for Savonarola, and Savonarola asks if Lorenzo repents of his sins and adheres to the faith. Catholicism, of course. And Lorenzo says, yes, I repent of my sins, of decadence, of greed, etc., etc., etc. And yes, I do adhere to the faith. And then Lorenzo is asked by Savonarola to give up all of his wealth. Savonarola says, so you're going to give up all your wealth now, yeah? To the people of Florence. And Lorenzo de' Medici stays completely silent. Silent. My cat doesn't lay on my lap anymore. Why not, Plate? I'm sorry, that sucks. And then Savonarola, to Lorenzo de' Medici, asks him to restore the liberty of the citizens of Florence. And Lorenzo remains silent. Completely silent. And Savonarola sighs, shakes his head, gives Lorenzo his final absolution, so that he can go to heaven, and then leaves. And Lorenzo de' Medici, Lorenzo the Magnificent, dies shortly after. And that is the end of Lorenzo the Magnificent. So, who has to take on the mantle of the great Medici name? The great Medici name. Last stream, we talked a little bit about Piero the Gouty. Piero the Gouty, who was Lorenzo the Magnificent's father. But Lorenzo the Magnificent's son is also named Piero. And this is Piero the Unfortunate. Piero the Unfortunate. Because boy did he have shit luck his entire life. Truly born into so much responsibility that, there was never going to be any way for him to amount up to what his father was, or what his great-grandfather was, who was Cosimo, or great-great-grandfather, who was Giovanni, I believe. All of those generations were like, they built Florence, they built a significant amount of Italian culture, they set some of the flame, most of the flame perhaps, of the Renaissance. Oh, are we done now? There we go. There she goes. Now she's hopefully not gonna drink some of my water. Okay. Let's do a little bit of that. Let's resituate a little bit. Okay. Let forward some. Oh, yeah, my cat's drinking my water now. That's fine. I do not share water with my cat. I just let her ruin my water, and then I will eventually go get new water. But I can't stop her from drinking my water. Anyway. Hello, my friends. Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. So now Piero the Unfortunate inherits the Medici title. So did Piero burn Florence or something? No, not exactly. Some might even say his competition is the one that burned Florence. But we'll get to that shortly. So Savonarola is continuing his crazy rants, his crazy Sunday sermons that are drawing in thousands and thousands and thousands of people into Florence. And he's preaching like the Skyrim guy, and he's saying, all of these leaders are gonna die, and he keeps talking about these prophetic visions that he has of a burning cross over Florence, and he's saying there's too much decadence in this city, people are having it too good for too long, and the wealth is concentrating in a very small number of hands, and this all needs to fall apart, and the church is corrupt, and everything is bad. That's what Savonarola is saying. And then Charles VIII, who was in France, the leader of France, all the way in France, starts conquesting over Europe. Okay, Charles VIII. And wait, look, I have some visual aids for you all. Let me show you. Okay, so first of all, this is Savonarola. This is our priest. That we've been talking about. Savonarola. She is gulping up my water. I must have really good water. This is Savonarola. This is our priest. And then, this is the area where Lorenzo the Magnificent went to die. This was where he went. It was like one of the extra peaceful villas. This is it in color, in real life. And this is Charles VIII of France. And he's coming, okay? He's coming all over Europe. And he's saying, Europe, mine. Europe, French. And he's kind of like for the time, he's a tradcath, right? All of these people are tradcaths because they're because we're talking about the 1500s. But for the time, he was a tradcath. He was radically Catholic. France was super Catholic. Italy was a little bit, they were creeping into the Renaissance, so they were like making statues of naked people. they were a little bit more liberal. And so Charles comes along and he says, it's time to conquer Italy. And Savonarola, the main priest in Florence, is like, hell yeah, finally justice is coming for this corrupt ass country. Savonarola wants Italy, and by extension Florence, to be conquered because he thinks it will bring absolution. It's so easy seeing Sleepy as a teacher. Thank you, Margarine. Yesterday I went to the grocery store and I was coming from the gym, and the checkout lady asked me if I gave classes at the gym. And I was like, no. And she told me I have a teacher vibe too. She said, you have a teacher vibe. I've always gotten that. And I come from a family of teachers. So I think that's probably why. That's probably truly why. I love sharing knowledge excitedly, but I have no degrees for teaching. And I don't do well in institutions. You know, my Saturn is in fall in Aries. But I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can get. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Is this a thinly veiled excuse to review your homework? Yeah. I mean, it's not my homework because I'm not in school, but it is my homework in the sense that I am always in the school of myself. I'm always trying to learn, and I verbally process information, and so talking to y'all about the stuff that I read is like a really good way of helping me remember. And also, it's hopefully something that's kind of interesting for y'all. Night Dreamer, thank you so much for gifting a 5 subs. That's so very generous. And Ogden, thank you for your sub as well. Night Dreamer. Zero. Italian test. Do you enjoy pineapple on your pizza, Sleepy? Dude, I'm gonna fail this test so hard, and not for the reason that you think. I don't like pizza. I don't like pizza that much. And I lived like 20 years of my life thinking that no one liked pizza and everyone just ate it socially and pretended that they like it. And then I finally had like a long conversation with someone and they explained to me that people really actually do like pizza. But so I don't know what to say, y'all. I mean, pineapple on pizza, it's fine, but I also like, I'm not really a pizza person, you know? I like bruschetta. I like bruschetta. I like bruschetta. I like bruschetta. I like focaccia. I love pasta dishes. Massive fan of every pasta dish under the sun. I am unfortunately vegan, which complicates things. But pizza is like a very mid food for me. I only eat it socially. And even then, I'm a massive social burden because I'm vegan. So it's like, it's awful. My relationship to pizza is a very negative relationship. so that's the way that is. That's the way that is. Yeah. Yum, tomato sauce bread. I mean, that's true. I like that tomato sauce bread way better than pizza. Like just dipping focaccia into like pasta sauce. Delicious. Dipping ciabatta. In pasta sauce. Delicious. Love it. How is vegan cheese? I never tried it and I wonder if that contributes to your disliking pizza. I didn't like pizza before I was vegan, so my dislike of pizza has nothing to do with me being vegan. In fact, I like vegan pizza more than non-vegan pizza. Because I think the non-vegan like pizza cheese, I think that's part of what I don't like about pizza. I think pizza has too much cheese. And I don't like the texture of all that cheese. And I don't like the taste of all that cheese. It's too much cheese. But when I get a vegan pizza, I either get it with no cheese or I get it with light vegan cheese. And then it's like tolerable. You don't like real cheese? I like real cheese when it's not melted on a pizza from before, like before I was vegan. Now I'm vegan, so I don't eat cheese. But before I was vegan, which was a lot of my life, I did love cheese. I come from like a cheese board family, you know? When my family went to like a restaurant, we would like get the cheese board because, you know, we like to explore cheeses. But on pizza specifically, there's so much cheese. And it's too much, and I don't like it. It's too much cheese. And then for vegan pizzas, I usually just try to get it with no cheese at all, because vegan cheese is usually kind of mid. Vegan cheese can be really good, but most big box brand store vegan cheese is like kind of bad. But like homemade vegan cheese, or like if I go to a restaurant and they have like their own house-made vegan cheese, it's usually delicious. They're not going to make it if it's not delicious. I mean, it's a restaurant, right? So, like, I like that stuff, but, you know, Dia cheese, Follow Your Heart cheese, those are like the vegan cheese brands. They're just okay. They're just okay. They're just okay. They're just okay. Do you like mozzarella sticks? Not really. Too much cheese. Too much cheese. But I like... So, pre-vegan me, I love ricotta cheese. I love lasagna. Oh my gosh. Lasagna. I love lasagna. I love ricotta. I love parmesan, ricotta, blue cheese. I like goat cheese. I like all that. Do you like yogurt? I did before I was vegan, yeah, but it's not like a regular thing for me. Not like a regular thing for me. What's the best bread? In general, your favorite type of bread? Probably focaccia. Although pumpernickel, I do love. I do love a pumpernickel. I don't even know where pumpernickel comes from, but I love it. It's gotta be English, right? Pumpernickel. The word sounds so English. But I love pumpernickel. Haven't had it in years, though. I do love eggplant lasagna. Mordrin, and Judy. I do. I love eggplant in general. I thought it was German, but now they say it. Pumpernickel. If it was German, it would be called that. If it was German, it would be called Pumpernickel. But it's called pumpernickel. I don't know. Who knows what it is? Who knows? It is called that. Ah, dang it, Alistair. Dang it, Alistair. Dang it. Vegan lasagna, yeah, vegan lasagna goes hard. You can never go wrong with a good noodle. Have you tried fried plantain lasagna? Nope, I have not. Sounds good though. Sounds good. I don't know if y'all heard those cracks, but that was my ankle. I'm German and that's literally how we say it. That was pretty good pronunciation. Pumpernickel. Oh, that wasn't as good that time. Pumpernickel. I like slowly got more and more Spanish or something. Are we ready to get back into the Medicis now? Are we ready to get back into the Medicis? Can you speak a little bit of French? J'ai passé devant la porte, j'ai crié bye là-bas. Y'a personne qui pas répondu. Oh, mon cœur fait mal. That's your French. Chante ça. That's Cajun French. Another thing I can say is, Gare dansant. That's in Cajun French. That's look at that. Gare dansant. And then in Cajun French you can say whenever you're bored, y'all, I'm bored. Let's go Rode. Let's go Rode. You know what that means? I'm bored. Let's go Rode. Come on, Kuyans. Let's go Rode. Come on, Kuyans. Get in my car. Let's go Rode. Rode means drive around doing nothing. It means you go drive around doing nothing. Because there ain't nothing to do. There ain't nothing to do except drive around doing nothing. Rode. Yes, Giga Fires. I don't know how to spell it. I've only ever heard it. I have no idea how it's supposed to be spelled. Rode. And then Kuyans, what I said, come on Kuyans, get in the car. Kuyans. I think that's spelled with 2 L's. Couions. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I don't really know. Couions. That's kind of a term of endearment, but it means like idiots, usually like drunk idiots. Come on, drunk idiots. But it's like a term of endearment. You can like call your grandkids like the couions. You can call your friends couions. But you can use it insultingly. Like, I don't want to go hang out with them. They're just a bunch of couions. That kind of thing. It's just contextual. I need to use that because I live in a small Midwest town where there's like 3 things to do realistically. Yep. And one of them is Rode, right? That's one of them. You just go Rode. Your bangs seem different? Yes, I got a haircut. That's a couple days ago. And look, I kind of have like a hime cut now. I'm not gonna take off my bandana because I don't want to. But yeah, I've been having fun with my little hime cut. Been having fun. Thank you. Did you think about going more often with your goth look? Oh, I mean, no. I mean, yeah, I thought about it, and I was like, no. I love dressing goth, y'all, but it is not who I am. I could never do that every day. I don't want to be that person. It's so not who I am. Every time that I dress goth, like the biggest thought in my head is like, oh God, is this so not who I am? It's such a costume, but I do love it. It's like a very, very fun costume, and it's flattering. Like every time I'm goth, I'm like, ooh, look at me. But it's so not who I am. It's so not who I am. It felt a little forced. Oh yeah. Like this, I don't have that much makeup on right now, but I do have makeup on. This 5 minutes. Goth makeup, like 45 minutes, y'all. Like, it's so much. It's so long. I just want to rip it off my face every time I do it. I do not have the patience. Goth or Brain Rot Bambi? I've gotten much better at Brain Rot Bambi. Brain Rot Bambi feels like less of a costume because she does her own makeup. Brain Rot Bambi does her makeup, and it is who she is. So it's like, it's more authentic. Brain Rot Bambi is more authentic. At first, when I did the Brain Rot Bambi makeup, I think it was taking me about an hour and a half, maybe. But nowadays, I feel like I can do it in like 45 to 50 minutes. Are you gonna do more? I need to clear my throat. Really quick. Just wait a second. Let me make sure that I'm not gonna blast you, okay? Okay. I hope y'all didn't hear that. Every time I mute my mics, I'm like, I don't know if I know how to mute anything. I don't know what I was saying. thought about graduating to prosthetic makeup for any of your videos? No. I mean, okay, every time anyone asks, have I thought about anything, they're not asking me that. You're not asking me if I've thought about it. You're asking me if I am gonna do it. But, have I thought about it? Yeah. I don't know. I've thought about everything. Everything in the world. Everything in the world I have thought about. Everything in the world I have thought about. Will I do it? No. At least not in the foreseeable future. I might, but like, no. No. Have you thought about opening the gates to an alternative universe? I do that every time I pray. Every time I pray. Every Lord's Day. Every Lord's Day. Every Lord's Day. Every Lord's Day. Goodness gracious. My throat is just a little bit crazy today. As a redhead, also it's hard to feel truly goth even when I put on black nail polish and eyeliner. Yeah, Carla. I agree. It feels antithetical to my existence. Too bad Crazy drank your water. I know. She literally drank she probably drank like a quarter of a cup of water, which is like a lot for a cat. Do any of y'all remember where I was in my story about the Medicis? The Medicis. Do any of y'all remember where I was? I was talking about Savonarola. Some guy wanted to be conquered. Yes. Okay, so Charles VIII is invading Florence. Okay, he's invading Italy and Naples and Milan and Rome. Y'all, Italy at this time is very into their like knight culture and their jousting, but they have no army. They have teams of mercenaries and they have some very good knights. But Charles of France gets together an army of 30,000 fighting men, plus the Swiss army. They are trained in big warfare. And then there's another 30,000 people, like, kind of in the entourage. And these numbers are, like, historically, like, you know, wishy-washy. They're not perfect. But there's, like, 30,000-ish fighting men trained in warfare. And then there's another 30,000 people in this entourage that are, like cooks and jugglers and musicians and prostitutes and, like, everything you could think of. And they're all just storming across Europe, conquering city after city after city after city after city. And Naples, Milan, Rome, all these little Italian places, they're just letting it happen. They're like, yep, yeah, okay, sure thing, Charles VIII. We're not fighting. We don't want any of that. Savonarola is a priest in Florence, giving all these crazy sermons all the time. And he's saying to all the people, Charles VIII is going to come to Florence, and he's an instrument of God, and he is going to bring us absolution, and the people need to be punished, and they're going to usurp the Medici family who has all the money, and this is all actually a good thing. And now, Piero, the unfortunate head of the Medici family, it's up to him to make a decision. Does he try and defend Florence? Or does he give up? So, most of the people of Florence want to give up the city. The Medicis, that's not in their interests, because they kind of rule the city. And so Piero, the unfortunate, tries to do what his father, Lorenzo the Magnificent, did 1,000,000 times, which is go and rizz up enemies and end up their friends and save Florence. Lorenzo the Magnificent did that like 1,000,000 times. Literally from the time he was 19, Lorenzo the Magnificent was going across borders to rizz up enemies so that the Medicis could keep their power in Florence. But now Piero the Unfortunate has to do it. And so he gets all brave and he walks right into Charles VIII's camp and has no riz. He has no riz whatsoever. And Charles VIII says, I want this land, I want this land, I want that river, I want that bridge, I want this land, your city is mine. And Piero the Unfortunate says, okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what Piero the Unfortunate says. So then he goes back to Florence, leaves the camp of Charles VIII, and okay, Italians, this is what I need you. The kind of governing body of Italy at this time is spelled like this. I don't really know how to pronounce that. It's like Signoria? Is that it? Is it Signoria? How do I say that G? How does that G work right now? The G is muted. Signoria? 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 Signoria. Like that? Signoria. Okay, thank you. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. I feel like I'm always wrong. Okay. Signoria. So that's kind of like the governing body of Florence, but the Medicis have been actually enacting anything that the city has been doing for all this time. So the Medici family had kind of disempowered the Signoria for a couple decades at this point, but they still technically existed. But now Piero the Unfortunate comes back, and the Signoria is pissed off at him because Piero just like literally gave the entire city to Charles VIII, which is not in the interest of the powerful people. So then all of the people, and this is confusing, all of the people of Florence started calling Piero a traitor, and they started calling the Medicis a traitor. This is confusing because it seems like most of the people, because they had been influenced by these like fire and brimstone sermons from Savonarola, it seems like they also kind of wanted to be conquered by France right now. But still, whenever Piero went to go talk to Charles VIII, they were like, well, maybe something good can come of this. But nothing came good. Nothing came good of it. And so then Piero came back, and all the people were like, you betrayed us. The Medici suck, and you betrayed us. You betrayed us. You betrayed us. And so then Piero has to go into hiding. And eventually, just a couple nights later, he sneaks out of the city with his wife and his children and banishes himself. And then the Signoria is soon to follow and says that Piero the Unfortunate is a real traitor. There's a price on his head, and he's banished for reals. For real. And then one of the Medici brothers, Piero's brother, who I believe his name was Giovanni, he disguised himself as a monk and went into the Medici household and got all of the most valuable things. And this is an interesting fact, y'all. He brought it to a monastery that Savonarola was the prior of. It was called the monastery of, I think it was San Marco. Let's see. Yes, the monastery of San Marco, where Savonarola was the priory, which is just interesting. And they safeguarded some of the most valuable Medici Renaissance art that was like in their household, in their villas and stuff. And then everything that that brother couldn't take was taken over by the Signoria, and it was like basically redistributed among the people, and it was considered like the mindset change on the Medicis was radical. They were considered just, 5 years before, like the saviors of the city, and now all of a sudden everyone hates them, their leaders are banished, and people are reclaiming all of their riches because the riches are considered like stolen wealth of Florence. That's how people's mindsets have shifted. And Inverse Kramer, thank you so much for your prime. Thank you so much for your prime. Thank you so much for your prime. Hi, I like your headscarf. Thank you, Synthetic Hair. My sister got this for me for my birthday, I think last year. I have a lot of bandanas. I've been bandana maxing these past couple months, but I still think that this one is my favorite. Well, is that true? No, I still think this one's my favorite. I really like this one. I freaking love Medici history. Me too, Cure Ponky. Me too. It's so interesting. It's so interesting. So, where are we? The people hate the Medicis. Savonarola is now the most powerful figure in Florence. The Signoria is now kind of reinstated with lots of government power, but there's no like cult of identity in the Signoria, okay? But Savonarola is this preacher. Who has been preaching about the fall of Florence right before Charles VIII fully took over the land and started like occupying Italy. Savonarola was having all these visions of a burning cross in the sky of Florence, and then during the war he changed it and he was like, it's actually a burning sword over Florence, and Charles VIII is an instrument of God, and Charles VIII is going to come and bring absolution to the city. And so now the Medicis are banished. A lot of wealth has been re-given to the people of Florence. Florence is an occupied French. it's like occupied by the French, and Savonarola is the most important guy in Florence. So Savonarola goes with a little council to meet with Charles VIII. And Savonarola says to Charles, "Thou hast come as a minister of God, an emblem of divine justice. We welcome thy presence with joyous hearts and smiling faces. But if you bring any harm to the city of Florence, God will damn you, Charles VIII. God will damn you if you bring any harm to this city." And so then Savonarola basically succeeds in helping to create a more democratic Florence. He gets kind of power in their government system and makes things more democratic, redistributing wealth, helping people out. So good job, Savonarola. Fire and brimstone preacher that he is. All that said, Savonarola is a little bit crazy. Sorry about that. That was my alarm. That should have woken me up this morning. But this morning I didn't need any help from an alarm. I just woke up by myself, which is good because apparently I set it for the wrong 12 hours. Anyway. Sorry everyone. Sorry peanut butter boy. Sorry everyone. I did mix up PM and AM. I did. I set alarms, but I am lucky. I usually do just like wake up in the morning. So I didn't even realize. Anyway. Savonarola wants to create what he calls a city of God. Talking about a city of God, this is like a very Catholic idea. I mean, it's it's the Catholic idea of a theocracy, but that specific language, city of God, is like really, it has a lot of historical precedence in Catholic theology, Catholic music. I think Aquinas was the first guy to say it, but I could be wrong about that too. But the phraseology, city of God, city of God, city of God, this is a very Catholic thing. And Savonarola says, we want Florence to be the city of God. So we are going to make it a theocracy, basically. And he has you can't even call it a cult following, y'all, because it's like most of Florence. And this is before the internet, so your city is kind of like all that matters. Everyone loves Savonarola. He's making Florence into a city of God. He's making it more democratic. Specifically, the small folk, the populo minuto, they love him, they love him, they love him. But as he grows in power and influence, of course, things eventually begin to get dicey. First of all, Charles VIII of France, Catholic. France, Catholic, has now conquered Italy, Catholic. Rome, which is where the Vatican is and where the Pope is also in Italy. And Rome is like France. It's not very Catholic of you what you're doing right now. Please unconquer us. Please unconquer us. Please unconquer us. I'm the Pope. That's what Rome says. And Charles VIII kind of says, okay, fine, we'll give y'all a break. Just so you know, we could occupy you anytime we want, obviously, but we will take our troops out of Italy and we will go back to France. That's what happens. And that happens pretty much in all of Italy, but Florence still kind of considers itself like occupied by this more French influence mindset, this Savonarola city of God situation. So Charles leaves, and then on their way out, Charles VIII's army is like spreading syphilis all over Europe. That's just a fun fact. It doesn't really have anything to do with the rest of the story, but they found syphilis in America like a couple years before, and then it got into Charles VIII's army, and then his army of 30,000 fighting men and 30,000 more musicians, jugglers, prostitutes, clowns, and cooks were all trapezing across Europe, just giving syphilis to everyone. It was the first syphilis outbreak of Europe. Very fun, very fun. So France was like, we're leaving, but only because we want to. We could win anytime. Yes, for Rome. But to be fair, they could. Like, because they did. France at this time did conquer, like, all of Italy. And they left because they proved their point. They left because they proved their point. And that was how that happened. But the Pope right now is Alexander VI. Alexander VI is one of the worst popes in Catholic history. One of the, this is peak corruption, y'all. This is peak corruption. And this is why Savonarola wanted Florence to be a city of God. This is why Savonarola was giving all of these sermons about the church needing absolution, about the Medicis being corrupt. Alexander VI was the Pope, and no one would argue, one of the most corrupt popes in history. He bought his way to the papacy. He probably did incest, and he had children. It was like a mess. Bad Pope. Bad Pope. So, Savonarola is now in Florence, and he's still talking about how they love Charles VIII, even though Charles VIII isn't even there anymore. And Alexander VI is like, can you please stop goading these French people? We don't want them to conquer us again. Can you please relax about all of this city of God stuff? Can you please stop prophesying every leader in Europe's death? Can you please just like calm down, Savonarola? You're being a little bit crazy. And then Savonarola's like, no, I'm not going to calm down. The church is corrupt. You're corrupt. Everything is bad right now. I just want to make a city of God. I just want to make a city of God. And so Alexander VI says, but what if I make you a cardinal? What if I give you a little red hat on your head? What if I give you a little red hat on your head and you have all of the influence of a cardinal and you come to the Vatican and I raise you up in power and influence? And Savonarola says, the only red hat I want is one of blood. And that's when shit really gets crazy. So Catholicism like has a thing for martyrs, right? Like, especially at this time in history, the Catholic Church is a little bit more of a death cult. The mindset here is like, Jesus taught us how to live, and also Jesus taught us how to die well, and the best death is a martyr's death. So Savonarola is now prophesying his own martyrdom, and he's saying Alexander VI is kind of corrupt, and all of these different leaders throughout Europe are going to die, and also maybe I'm going to be one of them, but not before I make Florence a city of God, and here's how we're going to do it, here's how we're going to do it, here's how we're going to do it. Which pope is the one today? Pope Leo. We stan him, okay? We stan him. Can you put cheese in gumbo? I mean, like, look, if your mama does it, I respect it, but my mama never did that, and I never met a mama that put cheese in gumbo, so I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. So Savonarola is prophesying his own death, and this is when Florence really begins to split, because now Savonarola is at odds with the Pope. Savonarola is at odds with Italy, with all rich people, or that's not true, with most rich people. Although there are some, like, humanists and influential people in Florence who are also into Savonarola. For example, the Renaissance artist Botticelli is a fan of Savonarola. And even some of the like Italian philosophers at the time are a fan of Savonarola. So there are some wealthy people that like him, but a lot of people begin to call themselves the Arrabbiati, and this is how that's spelled. So let me know, Italians, if I'm saying that okay. Arrabbiati, 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 which means the angry ones. People start calling themselves the angry ones, the people who don't like Savonarola. Arrabbiati, 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 Arrabbiati. Hard R, 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 R. Arrabbiati, Arrabbiati. Is that what it is? Arrabbiati? That's what I think when I think hard R. I think Arrabbiati, Arrabbiati, Arrabbiati. But that doesn't feel Italian to me. I feel like it should be Arrabbiati, 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 Arrabbiati. Which means the angry ones. They're angry at Savonarola and his crew, okay? Okay, I'm doing good. Thank you, ducks. Thank you, ducks. Thank you, Bruca. So they resisted the Savonarola, and then and the Arrabbiati, everyone who follows Savonarola, the Arrabbiati have their own name for them. They call them the Nodders, because they're always putting their head down and muttering their prayers, So they call them the Nodders, and their word for that is the Capernostri, 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 Capernostri. They're the Nodders, the Nodders, the Nodders, the Nodders, the Nodders, the Nodders. Or sometimes they call them the Piagno. Oh god, this one's gonna be rough. This means the Snivelers, the Piagnoni, 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 Piagnoni. Is that okay? Do I say that okay? Piagnoni, 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 Piagnoni. That's hard to say. Piagnoni. It's like panini, but complicated. The Snivelers, the Snivelers, the Snivelers, the Snivelers, the Snivelers. So now Florence is divided. There's the Arrabbiati, and the Piagnoni. And Savonarola wants to be martyred. And things just keep escalating. And one of these moments is called the Bonfire of the Vanities. The Bonfire of the Vanities. The Bonfire of the Vanities. Where Savonarola says, stack all the vanities in the middle of Florence and we're gonna burn them. This will be kind of familiar, right? If we're familiar, this kind of happened in some, this kind of happened in some recent-ish history as well at some points, okay? Kind of happened in some recent-ish history. Book burnings. Except it wasn't just books. It was sculptures, it was texts, and importantly, this is before the printing press came out, y'all. This is before the printing press came out, so burning books is a bigger deal. There's a very limited amount of these books. Every book is very expensive and precious. Every sculpture is one of a kind. It is expensive and precious. Piagnoni is basically like saying cry baby duck says. Interesting. Good to know. So this is called the Bonfire of the Vanities. Vanities were stacked in a big pyramid in the middle of the city. Anything unholy was stacked here. Art, sculptures, books, Greek and Roman philosophy, including Ovid, Boccaccio. I don't know if I say that correctly. Petrarch, Cicero, Poliziano, makeup for women or men, any kind of makeup, like costume pieces, anything like theatrical would have been burned too. And it was topped with a big effigy of Satan with goat hooves and horns and all that. It was 60 feet high and 100 feet wide. And then the citizens of Florence happily burned it like a big celebration while singing Latin hymns. And that was the Bonfire of the Vanities, Estigma, 1291, exactly. Yes, and that happened in 1496, I believe. I didn't actually write that down, but I'm pretty sure I remember that. Mid-1490s. So, I don't know if y'all remember this, but Piero the Unfortunate is exiled right now. He's just exiled. He used to be the leader of the city. All this shit happened. He hears about Savonarola taking it over. He hears about Savonarola getting even more of like a following. He hears about the bonfire of the vanities. Piero's like, surely the people want me to come back now. Surely the people want the Medicis to come back. And so Piero gathers together like a group of mercenaries and goes up to the gates of Florence and is like, we're here to save the city. And the people at the gates of Florence say, dude, no one wants you here. And then Piero is like, oh, please just open the gates and let me take the city back. And the people at the gates are saying, no, literally no one wants you here, Piero. And so all the mercenaries just turn back around. And Piero follows them back into his exile. And now we're going to talk briefly about the end of Piero the Unfortunate's life, which was recorded by one of his friends. One of his friends described it like this. The humiliation proved too much for Piero, who took to a life of dissipation on his return to Rome. This was his daily routine. Rising at noon, Piero would settle down to a long and bibulous lunch. Afterward, he would return to bed once more, accompanied by a prostitute, male or female, depending upon his inclination that day. After his energetic pleasures, he would start into a heavy gambling session with his cronies, which would last until after dark, when the company would set out on a riotous tour of the low taverns and bordellos of the city, returning the worse for wear at around sunup, when the honest citizens were on their way to work. And he died 6 years later, when a boat capsized. A boat capsized, and it killed him. And that was how he died. That was how he died. That was how he died. And that was the end of Piero the Unfortunate. So, that was a brief aside. That's how I died too. Yeah. Piagnoni means someone who always cries for something. Do people still use that word? Do people still use that word ever? Piagnoni. Yeah, interesting. There you go. So now in 1497, finally, Alexander VI was one of the most corrupt popes in Catholic history. And y'all, I know people talk about like, Catholic Church has so many corrupt popes. Not whatever I just said. I think I said corrupt pups. Catholic history, so many corrupt popes. There's actually not that many. I mean, even if there's one, it's a problem. If there's even just one, it's a problem. But there's like, I don't know, there's probably like 5 like really bad popes, maybe even less, you know? And so the fact that Alexander VI is like inarguably one of the worst, this is a big deal to take into account in history. Alexander VI excommunicates Savonarola for being a freaking nuisance in the city of Florence, trying to make it some kind of incorrupt city of God. Savonarola is a Dominican priest. And this is interesting, okay? This is interesting because I love hearing about historical drama between different orders within the Catholic Church. And the book that I'm reading about all of this, it doesn't even go into this part very, very, very much. But this is such an interest of mine, and I don't know if there's any entire books on it, but if anyone in chat like knows if there's like more books on inter-order drama within the Catholic Church, I so want to. I love monastic history. I need more sources for monastic history. I have some, but I'm always looking for more. So, different orders within the Catholic Church, they are not different denominations. They all share the same faith. They are all loyal to the Pope, but they have different jobs, okay? So this is kind of like saying, what's a good equivalent? These people have different jobs in the church. That's just the only thing I can say, but they all belong to the same church. In this specific story, we're talking about issues between the Dominicans and the Franciscans. Because Savonarola was an incredibly prominent Dominican, most of the Dominicans were siding with Savonarola. The Franciscans at this time are more in line with the Pope. Historically, traditionally, the Franciscans are what we call a mendicant order, or medicant. Medicant? Is there an N in there? I don't think so. I think it's medicant order, which means that they're beggars. The Dominicans are more of an academic-ish order. They are smart. Mendicant, it is with an N. Thank you, Guido. Thank you. Mendicant. So they're beggars. Those are the Franciscans. That's their vibe. The Dominicans are more like academics. Both Franciscans and Dominicans, however, do a lot of the same stuff. It really just depends on like what city they're in, like where they're operating. But that's kind of how they're founded and how they think of themselves. And then there's also like contemplative orders who just pray all day. And then there's the Benedictine orders who have more of like a work thing that they produce. Like they usually make soap or coffee or something. Like they make something. So all these different orders kind of do different things. And also it heavily depends on just like what city they're in. Like if you're a lot of Franciscans, even though they're a mendicant order, Franciscans are often working in hospitals, working in schools. Dominicans are often working in schools, I would say. Schools, but there are some contemplative Dominican monasteries. So it gets complicated. But anyway, at this time, the Franciscans are in with Alexander VI. The Dominicans are with Savonarola. And so now in Florence, there's Franciscan versus Dominican drama, Catholic on Catholic drama. And the Franciscans say, Savonarola, we don't like you. We want you to walk along a path of burning brush. And if you don't get burned, then it means that you have divine protection, and we'll forgive you, and you can take the city. But if you get burned when walking on this path of burning brush, then you're going to be exiled. And Savonarola says, but I really don't want to do that. But, Mordrin. It's dotting your message for me, which is annoying, but I see it. Charles E. Curran, Loyal Descent, Memoir of a Catholic Theologian, and then it says ... But I bet that's going to be enough for me to be able to find a book anyway, so I'll just save that. I'll save that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Savonarola says I don't want to do that, but you can't really not take on that bet when someone gives it to you, especially a Franciscan. And so the Franciscans say, we have a guy who's willing to walk on burning brush. So Savonarola, come walk on the burning brush. We're gonna have a walk on burning brush off. Whoever has less injured feet has more divine protection and gets to have the city. And one of Savonarola's good priest friends says, fine, I'll do it for him. Savonarola's feet are too precious. Savonarola is too important for this ridiculous bet from a Franciscan. So fine, I'll walk on the burning brush for him. So then the whole city gets together to watch this fiasco. And y'all, this is like one of my favorite pieces of folklore that I've learned here, okay? There's like public controversy over whether or not these two priests having a walk on burning brush off, whether or not they should be allowed to hold a crucifix. Because the crucifix gives them more divine protection. But if they hold it, they risk dropping it and burning the crucifix, which would be deeply sacrilegious. And this is the talk of the town. This is the talk of the town. This is some this is just so funny. This is just like humans. This is just humans operating in peak humanity. This is like, did Hassan shock his dog drama? Like, should the priests be able to hold crucifixes even though they might drop it? And then we would be burning a crucifix. And then it would be sacrilegious. I don't know. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. I love it. People have always been people. Yes, people have always been people. So the whole town gets together to watch this walk on burning brush off, and then it fucking rains. And everyone sighs and goes home, and that's literally the end of it. That's the end. There's no rematch. That's the end. God said no. God said no. It's so good. I love this story. I love that story. And it's so niche. Oh, history, history, history. History is so amazing. I love history. So, like months later, Savonarola's already been Savonarola gets formally excommunicated by the Pope, Alexander VI. He is then captured and tortured in one of Florence's oldest, historically terrifying torture dungeons called the Bargello. This place has come up a couple times in my research because it's where people are always tortured. Don't know if that's how I'm pronouncing it right though. Bargello? Probably Bargello. I bet it's Bargello. So this is where people are tortured. Bargello. And what they do is let me show y'all what they do, okay? Bargello. What they do is they take your wrists like this and they hang you. They hang you so that you're like this, hanging. And all of your body weight is on your wrists, behind your back, backwards like that. And they raise you up and up and up and up and up. And then they drop you until you almost hit the ground. And then they pull you up again, and they do it again and again and again and again and again and again. So, after four drops from that, I have a wire right in front of me. I'm afraid I'm gonna knock it down. But, so after 4 drops, Savonarola confesses to heresy. That's all he could take. Which is fair. It's fucking fair. And then as soon as they unstrap, so he confesses to heresy, and as soon as they unstrap him, he says, I retract my confession. I was just tortured. Are you kidding me? I am not a heretic. You just tortured me until I confessed. Fuck off. Fuck off, please. And then they do it again. And it happens, it cycle for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Until he couldn't talk anymore. Until he confessed to heresy. And he couldn't talk anymore, so he was condemned to death. They couldn't actually execute him, though, without the authority of the Pope, so they had to then call Alexander VI again and say, can we have approval to execute this guy? And Alexander VI said, sure, but we need to torture him one more time. So then they tortured him again. They came and they gave him another trial, sort of, from Rome instead of Florence. They retried him with the express intent of torturing him and getting a confession. And then they could really put him to death. So they hung him by weighing him down with chains. And then they burned him and his two best priest buddies. And that is the end of the story of Savonarola. That is the end of the story of Savonarola. To this day, Dominicans look at Savonarola and say, that guy kind of fire though. And to this day, Savonarola is not considered a martyr because it was the Pope who killed him and because he confessed to heresy. Even though Savonarola converted thousands of people in Florence, condemned the church for being corrupt, which it was. Alexander VI, no Catholic stands Alexander VI, okay? He is one of the biggest embarrassments of the church. And still he was the Pope. And so because of that, Savonarola is not considered a martyr. He's not considered a martyr. I'm not saying Savonarola was a good guy. He seemed like he was a little bit of an extremist. He kind of tried to turn Florence into a theocracy. But when I look back on people who are considered martyrs, I can't help but think that Savonarola doesn't seem too different from them. You know, like, it's just, I feel like history did this guy wrong. And even good Catholic Dominicans to this day, they can't stand him too hard without it being considered kind of like disloyal to the church. And I think that's a dang shame. And I'm deeply interested in it. I'm interested in it when things like this happen in history. Gray Fox 99999. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. G click arshk eask y click absk oshk x click 9 9 9 9 9. Thank you. A Franciscan priest that does ASMR? What? Carla? I think your name's not Carla. I think your name is Carl Jacob. I'm calling you Carla. So I apologize for misgendering you. But yeah, Carl Jacob in YouTube chat just said you should check it out. Father Manuel ASMR. He's a Franciscan priest that does ASMR. I absolutely will check that out. I cannot believe that is not on my radar. That is so exciting. Wowee. Love that. Okay, let's see. Jerome said, could a modern pope go against the judgment given by a pope from the past, like if Leo wanted to retract the actions of Alexander VI? I don't know about retracting. You can say that popes were wrong about stuff. Popes are not perfect, and popes in themselves are not infallible. It's just that popes have the power to make infallible statements, which they don't always do. Most things that popes say are not infallible statements. It's like a very specific type of statement that is infallible. So popes can say that popes are wrong. But when it comes to big actions like declaring someone a heretic, it gets, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the rules. I know that it's not done though. Could it be done? I mean, yeah, if anyone could do it, it would be a pope who could do that. It would be a pope who could say that a pope was wrong. But it is not done, and if anyone could do it, I feel like it could only be a pope that would do that, but it is not done. It is not done. The mics have occasional ringing. Oh gosh, plate. Why wasn't anyone saying anything, y'all? Mics have occasional ringing. Is it happening only? Like, when is it happening? What does it sound like? Is it happening right now? Is it perpetual? Is it when I talk? They ring when they move. That kind of makes sense. When you talk? When I talk, when I talk, when I talk, is it happening? When I talk, when I talk, when I talk, is it happening? 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 Ning ning. I think you fixed it. I think it was your cat. But is it going to happen forever? It is more subtle now, Hulkzilla says, when you touch them. So, did that do anything? Does this do anything? Does this do anything? Does this do anything? Is this making them ring? Is this making them ring? That makes them ring. That's good to know. Okay. 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 And what about when I touch them here? What about when I touch them here? Does that cause ringing? Does that cause ringing when I touch them here? Or is it just when I touch the arms? That's not good. I should be able to touch them like this. Maybe it's because they're too close. If it's feedback, it might be because they're too close. If it's feedback. Okay, noted. Maybe it's something on my desk. What about this? What about this? It's more consistent now, so that made it worse. Moving them farther away made it worse. Okay. Just a sec. I'm going to tighten every wire, or every knob. I'm gonna tighten every knob I can get my little fingers on. And then, I'm gonna unmute myself, okay? That's gonna be the plan. I've tightened every knob. I've tightened every knob. I've tightened every knob. How does it sound? Horcruxing, why? I don't know what to do. Is anyone in the chat like smart? Or are all y'all just as useless as I am? Because I don't know I don't know how to fix it. I use Rode mics too. Do you have something metallic on your desk? I don't think so. I have a candle. I'll move that. I just touched it with my arm, so you might have heard it when I touched that. What are we trying to do? There's a Horcrux. I have Horcrux sound, and I think that I think it's ruining my life. I'm dying right now. I'm dying. Are there other mics? No, there's no other mics. Let's see. Good night, Parade Mente. Good night, Parade Mente. Sounds like it could be some kind of cord interface. I just tightened all the cords. Was that okay? Okay, wait, I'm gonna... Okay. Okay. I just, pulled the fuzzy mic covers down. I just pulled them down a little bit because they had kind of risen up. Sorry to say it's still there. It's still there, isn't it? Okay. It's still there. I don't know how to fix it. Okay, would you mind moving the mics? Just move them one at a time? Okay. We'll call this suitcase mic, because that's the suitcase. This is suitcase mic. Yeah? And this is ukulele mic. Ukulele mic. Ukulele mic. This is ukulele mic. Much worse on ukulele. Okay. It's the metal? Well, but I don't know how, what? What do you, it is metal. What do you mean it's the metal? The metal in the mic? Okay. Okay. I didn't put the cover on it, but how's this? Is it any better? It's still there. That's not good. That's really not good. Did my cat actually break my microphone? Did my cat actually break my microphone? Okay, some people are saying it's not there. Move the mic. Some people are saying it's gone, some people are saying it's there, but it's quieter. Jerome says I can still hear it. When you move the mic, I can hear it. Okay, okay. Very subtle. I think the folks with super hearing are probably right, but I only hear it when you move it. It's very loud when you move it. Touch the cord. Okay, this is me touching the cord. This is me touching the cord. The cord. The cord. Okay, I've tightened everything so much. I unplugged and replugged things. How is it sounding? Is it any better? Is it any better? Is it any better? How is it sounding? The cords are not touching, so that should not be it. Is it possible to turn off on my key? Yeah, it's possible. But then it's bad. Turn off ukulele? Turn off ukulele. I would turn off ukulele. Ukulele is off. At least it should be. Ukulele should be off. Still there. Okay. 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 Let's see. Let's see. Okay. I turned ukulele mic back on. I'm gonna go around the back and make sure my wires aren't. Actually, I'm gonna go underneath my desk. And I'm gonna make sure my wires aren't touching. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it was my head, but it wasn't. I was sad about your ears, not mine. I'm fine. I don't know what to do, y'all. Can you try shaking the desk? For real? That's me shaking the desk. Sleepy, I know the issue. What's the issue? It's gone? It's gone? It's gone? I can hear when the desk shakes. Shaking the desk. Maybe I just have to stay very still. Any strong movement or contact, okay? No more cat ASMR. She likes to sabotage me too much. Okay, yeah, ignore everyone but Corvin. What has Corvin said? You know how you can show a stream inside a stream and the sound echoes? Yeah. I do know that. But now I want to move. Now that I can't, I have to scooch with my ab strength. Usually I would be pulling myself up with my desk, but now I'm gonna have to scoocheroo. Scoocheroo. There we go. Now I'm trapped. But like, see this, I'm obviously too far this way. I need to I wanna move this. Turn it to mono. I don't know how to do that. Yes, I do. Okay, I switched it, I think. I think I switched it to mono. Did I switch it to mono? Am I in mono? Am I in mono right now? Testing. I'm not in mono. Okay. Great. But I don't know how to switch to mono. I use a Scarlett, Focusrite, audio interface. It's in front of me, and it's what these two mics are plugged into. And there's a little toggle on it that says stereo mono, and I just switched it to mono. But now I just switched it back to stereo. I love the Scarlett. I've never had this issue. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna use my desk to scoocheroo. So, did that make it really bad? I'm gonna move this now. Super bad. Okay, great. Super bad. Don't like that. Are there two separate cords or each on? There are two separate cords for each mic. Yes. There's two separate cords. It was gone before I returned to stereo. Try switch it back to mono, but it didn't work when I switched it to mono. But just now I switched it to mono. I just switched it to mono just now. I just switched it to mono. I switched it to mono. I switched it to mono. Now I'm supposed to touch the mics. It's still there. No! How do I fix it? Sounds mic stand related. I don't know if that's crazy. It's not crazy. It's not the craziest thing I've heard, but it is sad because it means I need to buy more things. I hate buying things. I hate buying things so much. Do you have a backup cord? No, I don't. Switch it off and back again. Switch what off? And back again. I'm so sorry this is happening to you. I'm sorry it's happening to me. As far as I'm concerned, we've had a good stream. I talked about Lorenzo, and maybe I'll just end it. Maybe I'll just end it all here. Maybe this is the end. Maybe I'll never stream again. I talked about Savonarola. And maybe that's just everything. The stream, oh, Plate says the stream was really bad. That's why we mentioned it the whole time, and I didn't see. That's what Plate said. Hulk, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for gifting 5 subs. I do appreciate it. H click sk L K sk sk Z sk I dot double L A sk 90 click 9 click. It's fine when you don't touch, but Broke Boy Diesel, I'm an ASMR artist. I have to touch these. I have to touch them. Touching them is my life. I have to touch the microphones. I've made my whole career touching these microphones. You're like asking a chef not to taste their food right now, okay? I have to touch it. I have to touch it. I have to all over it. We love you, Sleepy Scuff Stream and all. See, that's the thing. One day I want to be loved for being good at something, you know? That's my dream. That's my dream. One day I'll be loved for being good at something instead of like endearing people to my failures. Anyway, unscuffed love. Yeah, exactly, Frown. That's really all I want. Would you mind pushing one mic far away and then touching the other and the cable as well? Sure, I can do that. Which one should I push far away? I'm gonna push this one, because I feel like this one is less bad. So I'm gonna push suitcase mic far away. And it might make a loud noise, everyone, okay? It might make a loud noise. I've pushed it so far away. And now I'm gonna touch this one. I'm gonna touch this one. And I'm also going to touch the cable. I'm gonna touch the cable. Queen Toasty, thank you for your 21 buckaroos. Thank you so much. Backup cord fund, we adore. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. You're welcome to the stream. Could be a grounding issue. Girl, if only I had a ground. I'm in the sky right now. I'm in the sky. There ain't no ground. There ain't no ground anywhere near me. I enjoy the history lessons as someone who wasn't raised in any religion at all. Very shocking to know people still practice. We still practice. Maybe one day any of us will be good at it, you know, but we're still practicing. That's the demon. The demon's just entered. Are you back to destroy my fancy microphones, girl? Is that why you're here? Huh? Anyway, it might not look like it, but Sleepy's streaming from her private jet. Starlink, yeah, that's what's happening. It's weird, it's affecting both mics, so I assume it's not both mics or cords themselves. It is a static cable connection to your input. Did that just make everything worse? Did what I just do make everything worse? I just like fully moved the interface. How's it sounding now? Hello? I don't know if you can hear me, or if you're even there. I don't know if you would listen to a gypsy's prayer. I can't sing this song because I will be copyright, so I will change the tune now. Once I sang like 30 seconds of Can You Feel the Love Tonight from the thing, and I got a copyright strike from Disney, so I can't sing anything anymore. I can't sing any Disney songs. I think chat is filled with lots of audio files. It's super minimal. Yeah, but I'm an audiophile too. I'm kind of an audiophile too. So like, you know. You know how it is, you know how it is. Yes, I know I'm just an outcast, I shouldn't speak to you. Still I see your face and wonder, were you once an outcast too? Aren't covers supposedly transformative? It wasn't even a cover. I was just like stream of consciousness, and you know, some Lion King came out of my mouth because it's in my subconscious. Chat was a video of crack an egg on your head where she actually makes the cracking noise. I don't know. I don't remember anything I ever do ever, but I can do cracking like that. What did I do? Spiders crawling up your back, bite you, bite you. Worms crawling down your back. Spiders crawling up your back, bite you, bite you. Worms crawling down your back. You're on a very tall building and you fall. What color do you see? What color do you see? What color do you see? Do you have a rubber mat to place your feet on? Nope, I don't. I have one of these nice chairs that has like multiple levels on it, so I just put my feet on that. My feet aren't onto the ground. My feet are on a second part of my chair, basically. I can scoocheroo back and show you, but I feel like that's not necessary. I feel like it's not necessary. Do you have the tiny keyboard? I do have the tiny keyboard. I have the tiny keyboard, short and stout. Here is its keyboard. There's where my cat goes out. Did Tracy fix it? I don't hear it anymore. Oh, I'm not touching the mics, that's why. I want to, and I'm not. I want to touch the mics, but instead I'm just letting myself touch these. Just letting myself touch these. No mic touching. This is awful. This is awful. Not being able to touch my microphones. Touching my microphones is how I self-soothe whenever I'm just rambling for 3 hours, y'all. I got my producer friend to listen. She had this to say: if not a conventional issue, and she tried every conventional troubleshooting method depending on what type of mic she has, it could be an issue with the condenser. Especially thinking about how she's an ASMR artist who has to touch the mic, you know, constantly tapping on a condenser. Yeah, it could cause weird issues like that, but I wouldn't know fully. Dude, my cat broke my microphone. Did that really happen? Because she was ramming her head into it. I mean, y'all saw, you know? Because I only use these mics for streaming. I love my cat. For the record, it's not her fault. I'm not blaming her, but it may have been what happened. I blame myself. I should have stopped her. I just didn't know. I didn't know that could happen. I didn't know that her, like, bonking her head into it could, like, hurt it. But why would it be louder when you touch the cords? That's true. No way she broke them both at the same time. You're right, Guido. But she was ramming her head into both of them. I do not have extra cords. I don't have extra cords to test with, unfortunately. Touch the mics. It's okay. Oh, wait. Can y'all hear? Am I okay? Am I okay? Am I alive? I just got like really anxious all of a sudden. Is this okay? Brushing the mic made no sound. That's very weird. Okay, y'all can hear this. This made no sound. This made no sound. This made no sound. It's silent. That's very odd. What the fuck? It's filtering itself out. I am still on mono. Sorry, I just bonked that kind of hard. Okay, I just put it back on stereo. Testing. Is this any better? Can y'all hear this okay? Can y'all hear this? You can't hear this? What is happening? What are they set to? I don't even know what that question means. These are plugged in. They're not set to anything. They're plugged in. They're plugged in. What's happening? What's happening? Noise filter. There should be no noise filter. There should not be no noise filter at all. Microphone. Let's see. Let me make sure. Properties. Everything is normal. I don't have any filters on anything. This has to be a cord issue. Are the drivers okay? Why would the drivers not be okay? Okay, that came for the mic debugging. You need to turn up the 4-watt setting. I don't know what that means. What watts? What fours? 4 watts? For who? For 5? What? It's uncanny how we can hear your voice. Okay, put out the mic cover. What? You held the mics by their wrists, like here. Have you ever thought that maybe your mics have a cat allergy? I have. Because I extend my consciousness into them like a spider in its web. I identify with the microphones. That's why this is self-soothing, because it's kind of like giving myself a hug, or at least it's supposed to. But now that this one isn't working, I'm starting to feel like this one is, it's like a phantom limb or something. Like I'm supposed to be, like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it because no one else is feeling it, and that means it doesn't exist. What part of you do the microphones extend from? Right here. Maybe the ringing is trying. Is it still ringing? Or is it just. How directional are the mics? As directional as they can be. I don't know what that means either. You know, they're in 2 different directions. You see, this one's on my right, this one's on my left. And they're set to stereo. Can you try without talking? this mic way up, like the gain. Mute the ukulele mic? Okay, this is the ukulele mic. I just muted this mic. I muted that mic. So, do you mind being background noise? I hope I'm background noise. No one should be watching this as like there's content out there that's like real. And this is really just people helping me fix my mics. I don't know what's happening right now. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Okay, it's still filtering it out. Could you switch the cables over from left to right and change nothing else? So I can. Question though, should I switch the cables on this side or should I switch the cables on that side? Like on the side of the Scarlet or on this right here? Because I can or I can do it like that on the mic. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself while I do that. Okay, that took a very long time. But I switched them. Now everything should be backwards, in theory. How's it sound? Hello? 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 Okay, wait, sorry, it should be better. One of the mics was still muted. Worse. We're getting worse from the chat. Okay. We're getting worse from the chat. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Everything is bad. Good to know. Scratch one. Okay. Suitcase mic. This cable is an issue. Okay. making the sound on suitcase. And then, what about this one? Is this one making noise? Is this one making a noise? Is this one making a noise? No swoosh. That's also a problem. It's not muted anymore. It should not be muted. It should not be muted anymore. Did you check the settings for both microphone input in Windows settings? Settings, Bluetooth and devices. Scarlet. It says driver is unavailable. Is that a problem? That sounds like a problem. Sounds like it could be a problem. Advanced sound properties. Spatial sound is off. It's your input board. The ringing is much louder on the other mic now. We can't hear you scratching the other mic. It's filtering out. I don't know what an input board is. I don't know what that means. Check for driver updates. It says I'm up to date. Okay. Your focus right. Okay. My focus right. My scarlet thingy thing. Okay. Whatever you have the cables connected to, that's my focus right. Okay. So that's the problem. Okay. So I should just buy a new one. I hate thinking. If I just buy a new one, will the problem be fixed? I bet I can get it in I bet I can get overnight shipping. And then the problem will be fixed. Is that what's gonna happen? Can I just buy a new thing? Should I buy a new thing and new cables? Is that what I should do? That would mean bending to the will of capital. I've bent, my friends, on my knees to capital. Maybe I should just never stream. Maybe fuck this. What's happening? Sorry, temper tantrum. Sorry. The only solution is to place the entire house? Yeah, I could do that. I think I'm tired. I think I should end this for today. I think I should probably end this for today. We've had a great 2 hours. I got the Medicis out of my system just a little bit. I have something to throw money at, I guess. When you turn off the PC, disconnect the main power source to your desk so everything resets, okay? That's probably what I'll do. Yeah, I think you should relax for a bit, then check it without the stress from chat. Why would chat stress me out? Chat, y'all are real ones, okay? Y'all are saving my life. Thank you for the 33 subs. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for the 2,000 bits, Hulkzilla. I appreciate it so much. I'm touching my cables now. Sorry about that. But I'm gonna raid someone. Who am I gonna raid? Let's raid Enchanting Bunny because she's doing a charity stream, and that's like so based, right? That's great. Do, 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 do. I hope y'all all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for your tech help. Thank you so much for being a captive audience to my history hyperfixations. I hope that all of you sleep well and have no ringing problems in your life ever. And I hope that I can figure out my issues and stuff. And that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night.